pull out my knife and open them up. Or
Yeah. Have you seen that video of this guy? He was like at a river or something, and there was like a bunch of like college people or whatever,
oh yeah,
and he was giving them attitude or something, and they were like pushing him,
yeah, they
shoving
started
him.
fighting him, and then he pulled out a knife and he stabbed a couple of them, and one of them died.
Yeah. Did you see that?
Yeah, he got found guilty.
He's dying, bro. Oh my God. Run, Isaac. Oh my God.
Oh, he's guilty for.
Yeah, I think he's going to jail.
Because he was pleading like self-defense
Yeah.
because he was scared, but people were saying like your eyes didn't look scared; it looked like you wanted to like stab them. But they were pushing him in the water and
Yeah,
laughing at
they
him.
shouldn't have put their hands on him, but I guess he had the time to disengage and he didn't. He kind of escalated things.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, even if we're in Florida, it's stand your ground, you're still going to get sued. If you ever have to use a pistol or a knife or or your car as a weapon, and you're going to get sued. There's going to be some ambulance chasing attorney that's going, oh, you can sue them. They probably got insurance, and they'll write us a check to go away.
Yeah.
And you're still going to have to fight it, and you'll probably get prosecuted. Hopefully there's video footage, but it's always, and the other thing is, if you pull out a weapon, whether it's a pistol or your knife, or maybe you got a collapsible small type of rifle, you pull one of those out, a police officer sees that, or maybe somebody else is a concealed carry permit holder and they see you shoot somebody. They don't know. Maybe they just walked up and saw that. They don't know that the guy attacked you. They might pull out their gun and shoot you, and that's happened plenty of times where a good Samaritan has come along and has used his firearm, and then a cop or some other concealed carry person shows up after the fact and just sees that, and then the dude ends up dying. So it's never a good thing when those happen, because it's going to be expensive. You're probably going to get prosecuted. You're going to get booked. And it's just, you live. The saying goes, well, I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6.
Mm-hmm.
And you fight it out later in court. But at the end of the day, your life is going to be radically different if you ever, hopefully not, but if you ever have to use your weapon or a weapon to eliminate a threat, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah. And he stabbed multiple people, not just one.
Yep.
He was just going on a rampage, But they were stupid too to keep on.
Well, they were hitting him, but I guess because of the whole video, he could have walked away and de-escalated it, and he kind of stood his ground and maybe was a little more antagonistic towards the kids or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what he did. He came over to where they were in their rafts or whatever. They were just a bunch of drunk kids. So
yeah.
I think they were calling him a pedo or something like that, and I don't know. But bottom line is he got found guilty, so I guess he's gonna go away.
Did they say for how long or no?
I don't think he was sentenced. I think he was just found guilty. So the sentencing usually comes later.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know what the disposition of that was, but I do know he was found guilty, and that sucks. But that's the downside risk, and depending on the state, because if you live in a more blue state, they have the attitude of, I mean, you look at, I think it was the McCloskeys was their name, when BLM was rioting in Minnesota, they had this old mansion that they had bought. He and his wife were attorneys, and they'd spent years restoring this mansion painstakingly, and furnished it with very expensive antiques that were in the Victorian era that went along with it. And so they got millions of dollars of their net worth. This is their home. And you got these BLM protesters saying, threatening they're going to burned their house down and shit. And they broke the front gate and came through onto their property. And he was out there. It was very famous. It was during when all the BLM stuff was going on and all the riots. And so he's out there with M16 style and AR-15 style rifle, and he's pointing it at everybody. And his wife's got a little wheel gun, a little pistol revolver.
What the heck?
She's got her, I think it was a wheel gun, a revolver, or maybe it was a little, like a little, what was little, I forget the James Bond one. And she had her finger on it, pointing it at everybody. And so they're both attorneys. And so the DA was a Democrat DA, and she prosecuted them, for pointing their weapons at people that were on their property, which that should be a non-issue, but she's a leftist, and they all believe everybody should be disarmed but people in the government. And so the way they think, the way people like her think, is that the McCloskeys should have just let the BLM people burn their house down and not fight back, because their attitude is only the police should be using weapons. Doesn't matter if the criminal is using weapons. I mean, the fire is a weapon if they burn your shit down or they physically assault you, but their attitude is you have to wait until the police show up with their weapons. You can't fight back.
Wow.
And if you do fight back, you get prosecuted. All you got to do is look. I think it was Jordan Neely, the guy that was in New York, the subway, and you got this drug addict, homeless guy that's threatening to kill people, threatening women, making threatening gestures, and so he puts them in a chokehold, and then the guy ends up dying. And so now he's getting prosecuted for murder. And then you get women, all these things are happening to them. They're getting beat up, abused, raped in the subways and stuff. And they're like, you got to do something. Where are all the men? And, when people say that, it's usually liberal women go, where are all the men? Why aren't they doing anything? Everybody posts a picture of Jordan Neely. It's like, he's getting prosecuted for stopping somebody physically that was threatening to harm everybody else. And so that's what, if you stand up to protect women and children or whatever, the DA is going to prosecute, because you're not in law enforcement, and therefore you shouldn't be doing anything. In other words, you should just allow the criminal to stab you, murder, because only the police should have guns and weapons and be able to do something. And they come down on people because what it does is it causes people to just feel like, I can't resist, I can't do anything, I just have to let the crime happen to me, because otherwise the state will come after me for defending myself. And so they criminalize self-defense. And they do all of that on purpose. So the McCloskeys are on their property. They have every right to point guns at these dickheads that are threatening to burn their house down, that they got millions of dollars of their net worth in, and irreplaceable antiques, all their family stuff, their family pictures, everything is in the house. And these people were threatening to burn it down. And they didn't burn it down because they had guns. And so they got prosecuted.
Not only that, but for their protection as well. You don't know who has a weapon there, who wants to shoot at them first.
Yeah.
So you never know.
And so they had to, I think they ended up pleading guilty to like a lesser charge or something like that. But the bottom line is they had to spend a lot of money and a lot of time. They were both attorneys, which they were willing to do, but your average everyday dude that, if it was just, Joe Blow, as a regular citizen that didn't have the money and the resources and weren't attorneys like these people were, that guy would probably be in jail now for what he did. And then his house would get burned down anyways.
And nothing happens to the people.
Yeah, nothing happened to them. Nobody got prosecuted.
No
the BLM riots, I don't know, it was like $4 billion in damage they caused. Not a fucking single person got prosecuted. Nothing happened. They all got let off. All the charges were dropped. And so, I mean, they did the same thing in Russia, Venezuela. It's part of the demoralization process to get the citizens to basically give up and acquiesce to the state and let the state do everything, even that means that you get murdered. It's fucking nuts. But people will, keep voting for these assholes because they're Democrats.